Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in a video day, and today the Atlanta Hawks have extended head coach Quin Snyder. I think this is a big move for the Hawks. Quin Snyder had a great season at head coach this year. Obviously, the success for them in the playoffs wasn't as high as I think they hoped for, but they had a great second half of this season. One of the best teams in the NBA in the second half. Them and the Charlotte Hornets were two of the big turnarounds this season in the NBA, with being able to just really, go from being bottom of the conference basically to being a playoff or play-in team, like the Hornets being the 9 seed this year and the Hawks being the 6 seed. The Hawks were as low as like the 13, 14 seed this year. They were playing some really bad basketball to begin the year, and then traded Trae Young, and then it was all fixed for the Hawks. But so, yeah, I believe going into the season, I believe that Quin Snyder's job was in jeopardy. In the first 3 seasons with the team, they'd only been to the playoffs once, and that was the season where he only coached 21 games. He took over as the interim head coach in the 2022-23 season. But the team made the playoffs not because of Snyder's job as head coach, but because of the Hawks' previous success. And so he comes in, they went 10-11 in the 22-23 season. Then the 23-24 season and the 2024-25 season, yes, they were a play-in team, but no playoffs for the Atlanta Hawks. And so no playoffs last 2 years, and the only playoff trip he made was the season where he took over at the end of the year. I think there was some pressure on Quin Snyder's job, even though he's been a very good head coach in the past with the Utah Jazz. I feel like going into the year, Snyder was in the hot seat, but I think he quickly got himself out of the hot spot when you trade a star player. When you trade a star player like Trae Young, and the team gets better after that. And it's not like they traded away Trae Young for a star package. They got back C.J. McCollum, who played great basketball for the Hawks, and they got back Corey Kispert in that trade as well. I think Corey Kispert's a solid player, but I actually really like Corey Kispert, but he didn't play that much with the Atlanta Hawks in the rotation. So you just really look at it, CJ for Trae Young, and I mean CJ's a great player, and he played great with the Atlanta Hawks this year. I'm not saying he didn't, but when you make that trade, the thought is not, okay, you got CJ for Trae Young, the team's going to look better now. And they did. They looked way better. I think Jalen Johnson has a big role in that. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the season he had this year has a big role in that. So many guys have a say, player-wise, have a say in the Hawks' turnaround season this year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, C.J. McCollum, Dyson Daniels, and Yeka Okongwu. All of those guys were spectacular for the Atlanta Hawks this year. And I'm not even mentioning everyone, because the Hawks had great depth this season. That's just mentioning 5 players on the team. And then Quin Snyder, of course, the head coach, who did a great job as well. So, yeah, I believe that this extension is deserved for Quin Snyder. And excited to see what he can do next year, because, look, they've got a top 10 pick in this year's draft. I think the Hawks are going to stay. My opinion with the Atlanta Hawks is their team's going to stay the same as it was last year, and they're going to stay the same as it was last year and add in a top 10 pick and a loaded draft class, which is going to just make them better. But so, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what the Atlanta Hawks look like next year. You guys give me your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.